Years ago, a journalist used lies and forged documents to manipulate Princess Diana into giving an interview, one that ultimately stirred global controversy and planted lasting fears in her mind. The deceitful tactics exploited her vulnerability and fed a sense of paranoia that stayed with her for the rest of her life. Despite the turmoil, the world has remained captivated by Diana's life and legacy. She was known for her compassion, grace, and extraordinary connection with people, earning her the title of the People's Princess. Yet behind the glamorous royal image was a devoted mother who loved her children more than anything else. Now, after years of silence, a long-lost letter written by Diana to her eldest son, Prince William, has resurfaced. It offers a rare and emotional glimpse into her private thoughts and maternal hopes. This story begins quietly in July 2004, when a London auction house listed a series of handwritten letters from Diana. No flashy headlines, just an understated catalog entry. These weren't ordinary letters. They revealed a deeply personal side of Diana that the public had never fully seen. Among them was one letter that stood out, written about Prince William, filled with love and reflection. The auction included letters exchanged between Diana and Violet Collison, a longtime housekeeper and close confidant of the Spencer family. Violet had known Diana since childhood and witnessed her transformation into the most famous woman on earth. These letters weren't curated or filtered like official palace statements. They were honest, emotional, and real. They captured Diana's internal struggles with royal expectations, the overwhelming demands of her wedding preparations, and above all, her joys and challenges as a mother. One letter, dated July 8, 1981, just weeks before her royal wedding, showed a young Diana maintaining her humor and charm amid the chaos, writing that everyone was rushing around, but the bride's keeping her cool. It was this warmth and relatability that endeared her to millions. However, as time passed, her letters grew more serious. The giddy excitement of her early days in the spotlight faded, replaced with deeper expressions of frustration, concern, and unshakable devotion to her sons. What made these letters so powerful wasn't just what Diana said, but the heartfelt emotions behind her words. She constantly worried about her children's happiness, safety, and the kind of people they would become. While the public saw Diana through interviews and photo ops, these letters were quiet and intimate, showing her desire for her sons to grow up with kindness and empathy, qualities hard to hold on to behind palace walls. One particularly touching letter, dated June 21, 1989, was written to Sergeant George Plum of the Special Escort Group, thanking him for organizing a motorbike show for William's 7th birthday. She expressed how much joy the event brought to the children and mothers present. What made it even more special was that the letter was signed not only by Diana, but also by young William and Harry, their childish scribbles beside her elegant handwriting. It was a rare, happy family moment, far from the press and pressure. For those who knew Diana's story, these letters were more than sentimental keepsakes. They reignited conversations about her difficult relationship with the royal family and her determination to raise William and Harry differently from previous generations. Where royal children were once raised with formality and distance, Diana was hands-on and emotionally present. Her former bodyguard, Ken Worf, recalled how she deliberately took her sons beyond palace life, exposing them to amusement parks, fast food outings, and public transport. Not for show, but because she truly wanted them to understand the world outside royalty. She wasn't just a figurehead, she was a mother determined to give her children something real. Diana made it her mission to protect her sons while grounding them in ordinary life, even as the spotlight continued to burn. She worked with palace officials to allow controlled media appearances in order to give them some privacy. Everything she did, from the big gestures to the smallest handwritten note, reflected one powerful truth. Her children meant more to her than anything else. As we dive deeper into Diana's personal letters, what becomes undeniably clear is that her entire world revolved around her sons. Every note, every thank you, every private reflection reveals a woman who was not only trying to shield William and Harry from the harsh realities of royal life and media scrutiny, but also attempting to prepare them for the world beyond the palace. These letters were written in quiet moments, away from cameras and formalities, offering a glimpse into the private life of a woman who loved fiercely and worried deeply. One of the most powerful discoveries among her letters is a long-lost message addressed directly to Prince William. This letter, kept out of the public eye for years, is said to contain Diana's most personal hopes and fears. While the full text has never been officially released, those familiar with its contents say Diana expressed her overwhelming love, her hope that William would grow into a man of kindness and compassion, and her fear that royal life might change who he truly was. She reminded him to always look out for his younger brother Harry and acknowledged her own limitations in protecting them from everything the future might hold. The letter reads not like royal correspondence, but like a mother writing from the heart, knowing she might not always be there to guide her child. It is this vulnerability and emotional honesty that sets her letters apart from anything else the public has seen of Diana. They show us a woman who understood the weight of the world her sons would inherit and who wanted to offer them something more enduring than advice. Something like emotional armor built from love and truth. Unlike the media image of Diana as a glamorous princess or controversial public figure, these letters show the real person behind the headlines. A mother terrified of what fame and the institution might do to her children. She was determined to make their lives different from her own. Diana broke long-standing royal norms by being hands-on with her parenting. She didn't want her children to grow up detached from reality, as was common for royal heirs. She made conscious decisions to immerse William and Harry in the world beyond palace gates, taking them to amusement parks, fast food restaurants, riding public buses, and visiting charities. These were not photo opportunities, but genuine experiences. Her former bodyguard, Ken Worf, shared stories of how Diana played on the floor with her children, raced with them through palace halls, and made it a priority to be present in the smallest moments. She was not performing motherhood for the cameras, she lived it every day. In her private writings, this dedication becomes crystal clear. The most powerful aspect of the letters isn't just their content, but the emotion that pours through every line. Diana's love didn't follow royal protocol. It was raw, intense, and beautifully human. She wasn't interested in titles or appearances. She wanted William and Harry to grow up to be good men, not just good royals. Her words were full of warmth, but also warnings. She knew how difficult life under constant scrutiny could be, and her letters were written like soft-spoken prayers, quiet but powerful. These letters still matter today because they offer a side of Diana that no photograph or documentary can fully capture. They are evidence of the emotional depth behind her public image, and they reframe our understanding of her as not just a figure in history, but a mother who fought every day for her children's happiness. In the time since her death, William and Harry have grown into very different men, walking different paths, but both shaped deeply by the values Diana instilled in them. The lost letter to William is not just an emotional relic, it is a message from the past that still speaks today. Diana may be gone, but her voice remains in ink and memory, echoing through the lives of her sons and reminding the world that sometimes the most powerful legacy isn't power or fame, it's love written down, quietly, from a mother's heart. As time passes, the emotional weight of Princess Diana's letters only grows more powerful. Though decades have gone by since her death, her voice still echoes through the words she left behind. They are reminders of her deep humanity, her fierce maternal instincts, and her unique ability to connect with people in a way that transcended royal titles. Diana was not a perfect person. She struggled with her own pain, insecurities, and heartbreak, but her love for William and Harry never wavered. Every letter she wrote, to friends, staff, and her sons, reveals a woman fighting to preserve her children's innocence in a world she knew could be cold and unforgiving. She knew that one day they would step into a spotlight she herself never fully escaped, and she wanted to give them tools to survive in it, not by becoming hardened or detached, but by staying kind, grounded, and compassionate. This vision, this emotional foundation she built for them, is perhaps her greatest legacy. In recent years, as Prince William has stepped further into his royal responsibilities and Prince Harry has chosen a different path outside the institution, it's clear that both sons carry her influence in different ways. William, often reserved and dutiful, is committed to the public role his mother once held, but he also embraces fatherhood with the same warmth Diana once showed him. Harry, outspoken and emotional, has repeatedly spoken about how much Diana's death affected him and how her memory guides his choices today. Despite the distance between the brothers, they remain linked by the woman who shaped them. Her lost letter to William, so full of hope, concern, and love, is more than a historical artifact. It is a mother's last whisper to her child, a personal reminder that behind all the royal tradition and protocol, he was first and foremost her son. In the end, Diana's story is not just about tragedy, but about strength, love, and the enduring bond between a mother and her children. Through her words, she gave them something the crown never could, an emotional compass. And while she never lived to see the men her sons would become, her influence is still visible in the way they raise their own children, the causes they champion, and the moments they speak of her with reverence. Diana's story may have ended far too soon, but in the quiet letters she left behind, she ensured that her voice, her values, and her love would live on. Not just in history books, but in the hearts of her family and the people she touched all over the world.